Hey everyone, have you ever wondered if it's possible to be too available for someone? I mean, we all want to be there for the people we care about, but how do we know where to draw the line? You might be wondering if it's okay to be available all the time or if it's better to step back and give them some space. In this video, we'll talk about whether being too available is actually a good thing or if it can cause more harm than good, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. So keep watching to find out more. When you're in a relationship, it's important to have your own identity outside of the relationship as well. However, if you're always there for someone else and putting their needs before your own, you might start to lose sight of who you are outside of the relationship when you're always there. For someone, it can be easy to feel taken for granted. When you're always available, the other person might start to take you for granted and lose interest in you. But how do you avoid being too available? Well, here are a few tips to help you out. This can happen when they are always able to get in touch with you and never have to worry about you not being there for them. When someone you care about asks for your help, it can be tempting to drop everything and be there for them right away. However, it's not always realistic or necessary. To drop everything you're doing, take a moment to assess the situation and decide if you really need to drop everything. In many cases, it is okay to tell them that you are busy and you will be there as soon as you can. While it's important to be there for the people you care about, it's also important to set boundaries and make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. So try to implement these tips next time someone asks for your help and see how it goes. Remember, you don't have to be too available all the time. Taking a step back and giving someone space can sometimes be the best thing you can do. Even with friends, it's okay to say you're busy. You're actually doing them a favor as well as yourself. If they always rely on you, they won't develop resilience and confidence to deal with their own problems that come along, which will actually stunt their personal development and growth. It's healthy and essential to take time for yourself to pursue your own interests, spend time with other friends and family, or just relax and recharge. By making time for yourself, you will be able to come back to the relationship feeling refreshed and ready to give the other person your full attention. It is important to communicate your limits and what you are comfortable with to the other person so they understand what to expect from you. However, remember that you're not obligated to do anything you're not comfortable with. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, it shows that you're confident and assertive. So don't feel guilty about saying no when you need to. Once you've set these boundaries, it's important to stick to them and not make exceptions all the time. By setting and sticking to boundaries, you'll be able to ensure that your needs are being met while still being there for the other person when they need it. Reach out to other friends or family members and let them know what you're going through. They can be supportive and it's good to talk things over. Do you change plans immediately your partner or friends decide they want to see you? It's tempting when you're giddy at the thought of seeing them, but don't. Your own plans are just as important. When a partner takes you for granted, they can start to not notice you. It can be difficult to reignite their interest, and it can lead to a loss of connection between the two of you. You shouldn't underestimate how important it is to give them space and equally make time for yourself, so you must draw the line and set boundaries. And it's also important to be willing to move on if the relationship doesn't improve. This can happen when the other person starts to rely on you too much and doesn't appreciate what you are doing for them. When you feel taken for granted, it can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration, and it can also make it difficult to maintain the relationship. Remember that it's okay to ask for appreciation and that you can feel frustrated when you're not getting the appreciation you deserve. This can lead to feelings of confusion and dissatisfaction, and it can also make it difficult to set boundaries when needed. Remind yourself that you're still an individual, and it's important to nurture your own identity outside of the relationship as well. One of the hardest things to do is say no, especially when you're in a relationship where you're always there for the other person. You might feel guilty about it, or you might feel like you're letting them down. However, it's important to be able to say no when needed. Otherwise, you could end up resenting them or feeling taken advantage of. Saying no can be difficult, but it's important to learn how to do it in a kind and assertive way. This can happen when one person is always there for the other person, but the other person isn't there when they need it. This can be frustrating and disheartening for the person who is always available, and it can also create a sense of inequality in the relationship. However, it's important to consider how your availability is perceived by the other person. If they start to rely on you too much and expect you to hold their hand, it can become draining and exhausting for you without them even realizing it. So now you know some of the reasons why being too available can be bad for you. Number one, set boundaries and stick to them. Number two, don't drop everything for them. Number three, make time for yourself. Seriously, it's super important to carve out some me time every now and then. Number four, don't feel bad about saying no. It can be tough, especially when you feel like you owe someone, but you've got to look out for yourself too. Number five, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're feeling overwhelmed and need some help, don't be afraid to ask for it. Being too available for someone can be bad for you and your health mentally and physically. That's all for today. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.